everyone, so today I'm going to be doing another Makeup Revolution palette kind of try on slash first impression, and the palette that I'm going to be showing in this video is the I Heart Revolution Peanut Butter Cup palette. So this one was one that I didn't really choose myself, it came in one of the sets that I got. The first thing I noticed, I just feel like color wise it's all over the place. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do with this palette, but it just doesn't look very cohesive to me. But that is the palette I used today, so if you're interested in seeing how I did this makeup look and you want to know my thoughts on this palette, then please keep watching. Alright, as always, I'm going to start by priming my eyelids. I'm using the Ruby Kisses eyeshadow primer. I've had this one for a long time and it reminded me a lot of the Urban Decay one. But yeah, I'm just gonna use that one since I finally used up that e.l.f. eyelid primer. And this is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. I'm not gonna lie, this color combination is kind of an interesting one. There's a lot of colors I see that can go together and look nice, but then there's just some colors that I'm not quite sure about. It just, overall, it seems a little bit more of a jumbled kind of color story, but we're gonna use them anyway and see what we think. Okay, I'm gonna start with this color here. This one is the lightest matte color in the palette. This one is called Cashew, and I'm just going to apply this to my brow bone. This is one of those colors where I'm not really seeing as much because obviously it's really close to my skin tone, but I'm also not getting a whole lot of pigmentation off this one. There was another color like this in one of the other palettes I tried and I could actually tell it was doing something. This one I can't see very much at all. Okay, so for that color, it wasn't my favorite. I couldn't really notice too much on that one, but next I'm gonna be using this color. It's a little bit darker than the last one. Again, it's kind of one of those beigey skin tone type of colors, and this one's called Shell. So I'm gonna do the same thing and see if this one shows up anymore. Again, this one's really not showing up too much. I mean, I can just barely see it, but so far I'm not really liking those two colors I used. That's really unfortunate because I really liked a lot of the other shadows that I tried, but these are just the lighter skin tone ones. Alright, so I really took my time trying to build up that color Shell, and this was about as much as I could get from it. Kind of not that intense of a color, but we're gonna move on to some of the other colorful ones. Next I'm gonna use this color here. This one is just a little bit darker than the last color I used, and that one is called Smooth. So fingers crossed that this one actually shows up. Alright, this one's definitely showing up a lot better than the last two colors. And I want to try out this yellow color here. It's really fun. It's like a matte, it's kind of more of a warm tone yellow, and that one is called Honey. So I'm going to take just a little bit of that and I'm going to put that more on the inner portion of my lid. And I don't want to go too crazy with this one because I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of color, so I'm just going to use a little whisper of this yellow. Next I'm going to use this color here. This one is called Milk Chocolate. It's a little bit more of a grayish taupey kind of color, and I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. And then taking just a tiny bit more of that milk chocolate color, I'm just going to take that on my fluffier brush and put just a little bit of that in the crease since there's not many other matte darker colors. Next I'm going to take this gold shimmer color here. This one is called Caramel, and I'm going to put that on the lid. Okay, not gonna lie, that color was kind of weak and I have a crap ton of fallout from that shadow. And that did not apply very well. I'm gonna try with my finger. Okay, not the worst with my finger. Usually I find that a lot of shimmers do apply a little bit better with a finger, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know about that color. It just didn't seem to go on as smooth. This one is just a little bit more sheer and it just doesn't seem to want to apply really evenly. I don't know, I'm kind of let down by this palette so far, but I'm still gonna try a few more colors and see what I think. I don't want to just completely write it off. I'm gonna try this other shimmer here. It's a little bit more of a burgundy, bronzy kind of color, and that one is called Crunchy. And again, I'm gonna put this more on the outer portion of my lid and just kind of blend it to where those two colors meet. Okay, I think that color is applying a lot better than that gold color, so at least the entire palette isn't failing me, and I don't feel like I need to apply that one with my finger. I feel like this one is applying pretty well for how I want it to look. A lot of fallout from these shimmer colors from this palette though. I didn't have too much fallout from the last two palettes that I tried, but so far this one's not turning out as good. Okay, this could be a mistake. I'm gonna take this color here. It's a white shimmer color, and this one is called Salty, and I'm gonna try just take up a little bit of this on my brush and do a little inner corner highlight. I think that one turned out okay. Okay, I like that color so far. Okay, I like that color. That one worked. Now this could be a mistake too, but we will see. I think I'm gonna take a little bit of this dark color. There's actually two dark colors here. One is like slightly more bluish and one's slightly more neutral. And then I can't tell. One looks like it has like just a tiny bit of shimmer in it, but I'm gonna go with this one. It's a little bit more neutral. This one is called Cup, and I'm just gonna take like a little tiny bit of this and put that in the crease just to deepen it up a bit. I really wanna go super careful with this one because I feel like too much black could just ruin this look. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit more of that and run that on the lower outer portion of my lash line. Okay, so I used about 8 colors from here. Again, as always, I'm gonna have to use this more to try out the other colors that I didn't get to use, but I'm gonna call it here for this makeup. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyeliner and my mascara and come back and share with you guys the final look. All right, so overall, what do I think about this palette? Now, I'm not gonna lie, to be honest, out of the few palettes that I've used so far, it's definitely not one of my favorites. I feel like you can do a lot of looks with this. However, like I said in the beginning, this color palette just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe it's just the placement of the colors or what, but just something is just a little bit off for this palette, and it doesn't really feel very, I don't know, peanut buttery to me. I mean, maybe it has a little bit of that, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, there's still a lot of like individual colors that I think are really pretty. However, I just had a few issues. Like those lighter 2 colors that I first used, this one here is called Cashew, and then the color Shell. Those really did not show up on my skin very well at all, so those were just kind of dead colors for me. I did have a little bit of better luck with the darker matte shadows. Those turned out pretty good. The color Smooth that I used, the color Honey and Milk Chocolate, those were pretty good, so I liked those colors. I only used about 3 shimmers from this palette, and the first one was that gold one, the caramel color one. That one I'm just not a fan of at all. Did not apply very well at all on the lid. I even tried using my finger, which usually works pretty well for shimmer shadows in my opinion, but this one just wasn't that great. And I had a lot more fallout from those shimmer colors than I did with the other palettes. So I don't know if it's just those shades or just kind of duds for the palette, but overall I did not enjoy that caramel color very well. I feel like the crunchy one did work a bit better. Still not perfect or not as nice as some of the shimmers from the other palettes, so overall I just wasn't a huge fan of this one, but I am really interested in trying this color here, so of course I will have to keep using this palette and see more of what I think about it. But for my very first impression on this one, I would probably say skip on this one unless these colors just really are your thing. Overall, I think I was able to get like a pretty eyeshadow look with this, but I feel like I just have a million palettes that could do this and do it better, so overall I just wasn't a huge fan of this palette. So unfortunately this one's gonna have to be like a little bit of a bye-bye for me, but I still have a lot more of the other palettes to try and see what I think about them, and of course all the past ones I've done, I really liked those as well, so I guess this is just one that's not for me, and that's okay. So I just wanted to insert this here and just show you guys how I think this palette would look better if it was rearranged in a different order. I feel like this setup looks so much more cohesive and much more, I don't know, just conducive to like applying makeup. When there's like these random colors thrown everywhere, it's like, it just feels very discombobulated, or if they're trying to space them all out so you don't see how similar colors are. But I feel like it just looks so much better when it's arranged in some sort of color fashion. And so yeah, I just wanted to insert that in here and just let you guys see how I think this palette would look better if it was just rearranged differently. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.